So as we all know, the diagnosis is done to treat the patient. So both the theoretical and practical knowledge is very important for this concept. So in coming to the pediatric age group, it is in children and also in adult case also, it is difficult to diagnose based on the morphology. So the diagnosis should comprise a detailed analysis behind the pathology. So here I'm giving an overview about the diagnosis of skin diseases in children. Coming to the importance of the topic, we should understand the importance of the skin. That is the largest organ, as we all know, and this organ of complex physiology, and any manifestation in skin should be explored in terms of general physical and mental health, and also on the basis of the status of rasa and rakta dhatus, the physical and functional state of which is more often reflected through the skin. And coming to the children age group, the health problems of children are different from those of adults. Hence, we should know the basic anatomical differences between a child and adult for better care and treatment. So there are n number of dermatological conditions or types of kushtas are mentioned in our class. It's in various aspects. It is scattered at different areas of narrations like Jwara, Kushta, Visarpa, Pidaga, Shudra Rogas, Charmadala, Udarda, Shitapitta, Gudakutta, Shvitra, Vrana, Balavisarpa or Karapan conditions, and Vidradis, etc. Like so many conditions are scattered in our classics. So we should first of all, we should understand what is a Twak Sharira. Then only we can analyze the diagnosis condition based on the basis concept of analyzing a Twak Sharira. So coming to its embryological evolution, and on the background of classics only, it is mentioned by Ashtanga Hridaya, like the Twak is formed from by Paga of Rekta Dhatu Agni. So it is just like the deposition of cream on the surface of boiling milk. So it is very important to understand the Twak is formed from Rekta Dhatu. And there is also the influence of pregenital circumstances in Twak Rogas. That is, we already studied that skin is considered as a Madraja Bhava. So some skin conditions having genetical origin. So there is always a pregenital circumstances, and it is considered as a Rektavaha Srodo Dushti Vigaras because it is already evolved from a Rekta Dhatu. And when we are using the drugs for skin conditions, it is having the qualities to normalizing the Rekta Dhatu. And also we should understand the involvement of Pancha Mahabhutas in the involvement the involvement of Pancha Mahabhutas in the formation of Twak. As it will be same as that of the Rekta Dhatu. As it is evolved from Rekta Dhatu, the skin is evolved from Rekta Dhatu. The same Buddha concepts will same concept of Buddha involvement will be there in Twak and Rekta. So while doing diagnosis, this concept will help us to do a correct diagnosis. So formation of Twak from Rekta has been influenced by multiple Buddha elements as that in Rekta itself. Like if we the structure and smell of the Twaja is a major contribution from Bhumi Mahabhuta, and the circulatory components like the moisture of the Twaja, the pigmentation of the skin is maintained by the Agni Mahabhuta, and the sensation by Vayu Mahabhuta, and the micro channels for the elimination of the sweat. It is by the involvement of Agasha Mahabhuta. Like this, we should understand the contributions of layers of the skin. Like we all know the importance of the layers of skin, like how by understanding the layers of skin we can analyze how to up to which extent the skin condition affected the children or the adult, up to which extent the disease is caused, or we can understand the severity of the skin condition. Like in the first layer, Udagadara, the first layer of skin infections causing scaling, papilloma-like conditions. So the second layer, coming to the second layer of skin, it is termed as Asrikdara because it is mainly holding the blood, and it is also named as Lohita by Susruta Acharya. That is the layer that's supporting the outer layer and indicating the quality of the blood. So this layer is rich in microvascularity. So here the skin conditions like colored lesions, non-elevated moles like Tilakalaga, Nyecha, Vyanga, Kalaga will happen. And the third layer, it is the Shveda. So as the name indicating, it is for the pigmentation and immunity and for protection, and it also helps for balancing the color of the skin. So any clinical conditions in this layer will cause the conditions like sigma, vitiligo, charmadala, ajagalika, mashaga, like conditions. And this layer also helps for the responsible for the elasticity of the skin and makes the skin waterproof. Like this condition, Tilakalaga, it will be like this is a condition with small and widely distributed painless pidagas of size of tila seeds. And Nyecha, like hyperpigmented patches, it will be like non-elevated patches, non-elevated lesions. Like Tinea versicolor, Kilasa, this will be appear like a patches condition. Ajagalliga, Mashaga, Charmadala, and the next layer is the Tamra layer. That is the main possible immune functions. Here the possible immune functions against the chronic infections, and also this layer helps for the nurturing and protecting the upper layers and different types of lesions characterized by copper color discoloration and rich in capillary network which worsen on exposure to sunlight. And acute or chronic allergy response also very prominent in this layer. So like Dadru, Kushta, Visarpa, Kilasa, like clinical conditions will manifested in this layer. The fifth layer is the Vedini. This layer is contributing the possible immune functions against acute infections. And this is main for sensation because there is very good nerve supply, and disease with altered sensation and severe itching are due to the extent of pathology to this level. That is the fifth layer of skin. The clinical conditions like allergy, vidridi, and advanced stage of Kushta, Kilasa, Visarpa will happen in this layer. And the sixth layer is for the seat of boils, appearing blackish red and deep-rooted joints like Rohini. This layer is Rohini. And it is mainly related to life or consciousness, mainly pain indicating in skin conditions will have manifested in this layer. And mainly these are for healing and regeneration. And this layer forms the covering to many organs along with underlying Mamsadhara layer. So like the disease conditions like Granthi, Abaji, Arbuda, Shlibada, Galaganda, like deep level conditions we can manifest it in this layer. The last layer is the Mamsadhara layer. That is, the skin appear firm and supple, provides adequate blood supply to the other portions of the skin and helps in waste drainage through venous route. So in these conditions, Bagandhara, Vidradi, arches like skin manifestation can identify in this layer. So why we are understanding the layers of skin? Because these layers of skin also gives the idea of the barriers of the skin. So any disturbance in these barriers will cause the disruption in the skin barriers will cause the clinical conditions. So the outermost layer will contribute the microbiome barrier layer, then physical barrier layer and chemical barrier layer, and last will contribute the immune barriers. The understanding of these barriers is important for the diagnosis of the skin conditions. So all the acharyas are describing about the layers of the skin. And the next basic concepts come to the relation between Twaja and Dosha. So mainly Twak is the sthana of Vata and Pitta. So we can say that Tvak is the Sparshanendriya Adhishtana. So mainly Prana Vayu and Vyana Vayu have common contribution in Tvak Sharira. And Prajaka Pitta for luster and Varna, and Pajaka Pitta for nourishing Prajaka Pitta, and Sadhaka Pitta for Indriyartha Sadhana. And coming to Kapha Dosha, the Sniktada, Shlekshnada, Mriduda, Stirada, Shidada, Prasannada of the skin all are provided by the Kapha Dosha. Coming to the Dhatu concept, the Rasasara and Tvaksara are same, and it will give the Tvak Prinana. And as we earlier we said that the Tvak is evolved from Rekta, and also Rekta provide Varna Prasadana to Tvak. And skin is evolved from Rekta Dhatu, and skin is considered as the Ubadadu of Mamsa. So Rasadadu, Rekta Dhatu, Mamsa Dhatu has main important role in skin conditions. Coming to the concept of Twaja and Medas, and it is excreted by the way of Twaja, and it is helps to maintain the luster and humidity of the skin. And like the skin appendages like Nagha, Kesha, and the involvement of Majja Dhatu, these all basic concept helps to understand the diagnosis of the skin condition in the case of Dosha Dusha Vikalpa. And also, as we already told, the involvement of Srodhas and Tvak, and Koshtanga and Tvak, Kleda and Tvak. Srodhas we already told, and the involvement of Koshtanga and Tvak. Like Yagrit and Pliha is considered as the Moolasthana of Rekta. As Rekta, the Tvak is involved from Rekta, there is also a contribution from Yagrit and Pliha. And Hridaya is considered as the Moolasthana of Rasa. Vrika is considered as the Moolasthana of Medas. These all are having a contribution in Tvak Sharira. This all helps in the while presenting the symptoms, we can understand what all are the points contributing this clinical conditions of the skin. According to that, we can correctly diagnose the condition, and we can go to the treatment appropriately. Like the involvement of Rasa and Tvak and Virya and Tvak, we should understand the normalcy of Tvak Sharira by considering all this basic concept. So any imbalance in this basic concept will contribute the understanding of the Dosha Dusha Vikalpa in the Dosha Dusha Vikalpa, and that will help to understand the diagnosis of skin conditions. And next, we should understand what is the difference between a children's skin and adult skin. We all know the children's skin is thinner and has a higher body surface area. So it is more easily to absorb toxins in through the skin surface of children, and it is still developing. So it requires more protection to prevent the moisture loss. And it is also very sensitive and fragile, and it is having the children epidermis is very thinner compared to adult epidermis, and the outer layers of epidermis is continuously and rapidly undergoing the growth formation. So dry, it will go dry and flock off, so it is continuously replaced by lower cells. And the epidermis and dermis are loosely attached together compared to the adult skin. And the newborn skin will be due to insufficient formation of melanin, it looks more white compared to adult skin. And keratinization depends on the content of the vitamins in the food. And while considering the epidermis, it will blisters easily, and so for children the infection occurs rapidly. And considering the sebaceous glands, it will do not begin producing sebum until 8 to 10 years of age. So without lubrication, the skin will become more dry, and it will flakes easily. So in preterm and term newborns have less subcutaneous fat, therefore they are more sensitive to heat and cold. So we should prevent those preterm and term newborn babies from hypothermia like conditions. And at birth, the skin will be alkaline, more alkaline. So it is also increasing the susceptibility to infection. And the thermoregulation problem will happen in children because there is the ability to perspire through skin matures by 3 years of age. And the axillary perspiration begins near puberty. and thinner, they will be having thinner, less hairy, weaker intercellular attachment, and the sebaceous gland secretion also will be fewer. So there will be increased susceptibility to external irritant and micrococcal infection, and the allergic reactivity also will be more in children cases. So after understanding, if we are understanding the difference between children's skin and the adult skin, it will also helps to diagnose the skin conditions easily. Coming to the importance of in Kaumara Bhritya, that is Kaumara Bhritya is considered as the first anga among Ashtangas by Kashyapa. So there is importance, the importance of children. So we should understand the importance of children in this context. So in this context, we should understand the by analyzing the definition of Bala, we should understand the specialities of Bala like Abaripakwa Dadu, Ajada Venchana, Sugumara, Aklesha Saha, Asamburna Bala, Shleshma Dadu Praya, Ashodasha Varsha. Like they are their Dadu development is not completed, and their organs are not well developed, and they are Sugumara. They are very vulnerable and very sensitive to the diseases, and their Bala is not fully developed, and the Shleshma Dadu is more prominent in this age. By considering these all concepts, we can understand the diagnosis of the skin conditions. And also we should keep in mind the functions of the skin. Then coming to the topic, diagnosis of skin diseases. It is depends on the accurate use of lexicon of dermatology, ability to identify the primary and secondary skin lesions, and the recognition of various patterns formed by the lesions. And along with this, a good history taking and a detailed physical examination also important for the proper diagnosis of the skin diseases. So a proper examination will include inspection and palpation. So the physical examination should be taken, the affected part should be completely exposed, and it should be done under adequate illumination, and we should analyze the head to foot for the whole skin appendages and all the mucous membrane in the mouth and genitals, and also hair and nails, all should be examined properly. And for coming to inspection, we should consider the points like what is the shape of the lesion, color of the lesion, oozing, whether oozing or not, and if whether any microorganisms are present or not, and how much area it is distributed, and how many number of lesions are present, whether there is an order or not, and the lesion is in which stage. By inspecting, we all get by inspecting, like going through inspection, we get all these points. So by understanding these points, we can like earlier we said, the layer of how much severity the disease is spread, we can understand through inspection. And next is coming the palpation. By through palpation, we can understand whether tenderness is present, and what is the texture of the skin, whether it is wet or dry, whether it is sticky. So in children, we should analyze through properly, because they are vakcheshtayo asamarthya. They can express their problems properly. So through proper inspection and palpation is important in case of children for diagnosis of skin conditions. So coming to distribution, we should understand whether it is symmetrical or asymmetrical, whether it is centrifugal or centripetal, whether it is in the flexor surface or extensor surface like in psoriasis conditions, whether it is in exposed area or it is in shadowed area. Like exposed area, like in easily we can say that like in Jandukadida conditions, like any Bitten conditions, it will be prominent more over the exposed area. So in children, it is common. In Jandugadida conditions are common in children. So they can't express. So we should diagnose properly in those conditions. And whether it is distributed over the genital area, whether it is localized distribution or general distributed. So each skin conditions having specific distribution pattern. We should analyze the condition properly and then we'll come to the diagnosis of the condition. So the recognizing and describing the skin lesions accurately is essential to the diagnosis and differential diagnosis of the skin disorders. So the first step is to identify the primary lesion, that is defined as the earliest lesion. And next we should note what is the, as we earlier we told, like what is the distribution, arrangement, and the color of the primary lesions. Along with that, we should analyze whether any secondary changes is along with that also we should analyze. So while assessing the lesions, we should know some terminologies related to the lesions. So we all know there are two types of lesions, primary lesions and secondary lesions. So types of primary lesions, these are lesions are commonly seen in children. So the flat lesions, that is a macule, that macule will be very small condition, very small lesion that is less than 1 centimeter and without any elevation or depression of the skin, as there will be no difference in the configuration of the skin. It will be same as the skin. There is only a color change will be there. And next coming the patch lesion. The patch will be like area of color change without skin elevation or depression, but size will be more than macule. And next coming the elevated lesions like solid lesions. So this is the example of macule, as in capsulate lesions is a neurofibromatosis condition. This is a condition of macule less than 1 centimeter. And this is a port wine stain. It is an erythematous patch, like patch condition. And these all are the elevated lesions. Papules, it will be less than 0.5 centimeter in diameter. Little more than papules will call nodules. And like wheals, it will be pink, rounded or flat topped elevation due to edema in the skin. Or next condition will be like plaques, like plateau shaped structures often formed by the coalescence of the papules. And next lesions will be fluid filled lesions like vesicles. This will be less than 0.5 centimeter diameter, and vesicles always filled with a clear fluid, clear or serous fluid. These are examples of nodules, and these are pink wheals in urticaria, and these are scaling plaques in psoriasis condition. These all are primary lesions. And next will come fluid filled lesions like vesicles, bullae, pustules, and cysts. Vesicles will be less than 0.5 centimeter in diameter. Bullae will be like almost 0.5 centimeter diameter and typically filled with a serous or clear fluid. And pustules, as the name indicate, it will be filled with a purulent material. And cyst, it will be 0.5 centimeter in diameter and represent like sacs containing fluid or semi-solid material. These are conditions like bullae, that is with a clear fluid. This chronic bullous conditions, diseases of childhood. And these are pustules are filled with a purulent material. And this is a folliculitis condition. Here fluid will be clear fluid. Here will be purulent material. And depressed lesions, they are erosions, ulcers. Erosions will be superficial loss of the epidermis, that is with a moist base. And ulcers, deeper lesions extending into the dermis or below. So erosions as seen in this condition, it is acrodermatitis. The erosions as seen in infant. It is a superficial loss of epidermis. The erosions, if it is extending to the deep, then it is ulcers. So after knowing the terminologies of lesion, then we should understand how it is distributed. So certain disorders having characterized unique patterns of lesions. We should understand this distribution of lesions that helps to diagnose the condition. Like characterized by unique patterns of lesions, antecubital or papillitis, it causes the eyebrows, nasolabial folds. This is often seen in areas that of dorsal knees. Like there are certain disorders And the arrangement will include diagnosis like linear lesions, linear arrangement of lesions, as we can see in contact dermatitis and lichen striatus, and also in epidermal nevus, psoriasis, and Warts condition, there will be linear arrangement of lesions. And in herpes simplex virus infection, Warts, molluscum contagiosum, in that conditions, mainly in viral conditions, there will be grouped arrangement of lesions. And there will be dermato zoster like clinical conditions. Like the linear arrangement of papules or vesicles. In infections and dermatomal distribution infection. And next is an annular like arrangement, that is in tinea infection, granuloma annulare, erythema migrans, lupus erythematous conditions. There will be a ring shaped annular shape of arrangement we can see. Color we can it will give a clue to the diagnosis like erythematous lesions. This erythematous lesions, if the red cells are within the cells occurs in urticaria, the compression of the skin forces the cells into deeper vessels and blanching occurs. However, if the cells are outside the vessels, as occurs in forms of vasculitis, blanching will not occur. So non-blanching lesions are termed as petechiae, purpura, or ecchymosis conditions. Like erythematous color will helps to diagnose this kind of lesions. Whether or depigmented like this, by based on the color variation, it is also give a clue to the diagnosis of skin condition. And next come the secondary changes, that is along with the primary lesions, if there is any alteration in the skin that may accompany primary lesions, including like crusting, scaling, atrophy, lichenification, or any secondary changes is present or not, also helps to diagnose the conditions like impetigo. In impetigo conditions, there will be honey crust will be present along with the bulle, like cresting, there will be bullous presentation will be there. Along with that, this all bulle will form a honey colored crust formation in impetigo. In scaling is a secondary lesion that is represent the epidermal fragments that are characteristic of several disorders, including fungal infections. In psoriasis, there will be scaling that will be as a secondary change. In case of in conditions like atrophy, an area of surface depression due to absence of epidermis or dermis or subcutaneous fat, atrophic skin often is thin and wrinkled. And there will be lichenification, thickening of the skin from chronic rubbing or scratching. Like in case of atopic dermatitis, in chronic disease, there will be lichenification will be present. So based on the secondary changes, we can identify how much severe the disease is. So coming to the Kushta knowledge, Kushta we all know it is a Tridoshaja Vyadhi and it is coming on Bahir Roga Marga and is considered as a Mahagada. So the coming to the Samprapti of Kushta, it begins with a multitude of interaction of Tridosha with Tvak, Rekta, Mamsa and Lesiga, and gradually it may afflict with other dhatus depending upon the strength of the Samprapti Gadaga. This is very important for the diagnosis of the each skin conditions. So the majority in Ayurveda, so as we all know, the majority of the dermatological disorders have been described under the umbrella term Kushta. The Kushta that which destroy with certainty, or that which disfigures the body is known as Kushta. So based on this knowledge, there are so many morphological conditions are described in classics. So if we think of based on the morphology, if we think of any diagnosis, it will be very difficult to point out each condition. Diagnose based on the pathology of each skin condition, it will help to treat the condition. So if we try to understand the Kushta based on the presenting symptoms, or if we trying to understand based on the morphology, it is like n number of morphology will be there. It is abarisankhya. So try to understand the clinical condition based on the dosha dusha vikalpa. As like in case of ahipudana, there will be kapha rakta manifestation will be there. In case of charmadala is of 4 types: vadacha, pittacha, kaphacha and sannipadaja. So based on this involvement of dosha, try to understand the clinical condition. And the kushta is considered as the rakta dushtijanya vyadhi. And in children especially, they are madhura rasa adisevana. The skin conditions are more related to this hedu. And try to understand the dhatu shaitilyata in each clinical condition. Like mainly the dhadus involved are rasa, rakta, mamsa. So the involvement of how much involvement of dhadus are the degree of involvement of dhadus in each clinical condition helps to diagnose the condition. So if we considering the Tvak in children, we will go to the hedus, because the hedu is very important while taking the diagnosis of skin conditions in children. As we all know, the children based on the age group, it is divided into 3 types: Kshiraba, Kshiranada, and Annada. So if you are considering Kshiraba and Kshiranada, like they are depending on the mother for food, they are under breastfeeding, and they're starting of weaning stage. This group we are considering as Kshiraba and Kshiranada. So mainly in these conditions, the Tvakvigaras are mainly due to Dushtasthanya Janana. That is the maternal factors also contribute the cause for clinical conditions. Like not only the children's dosha dusha, we should analyze the dosha dusha of mother also. Like in case of Charmadala, Dushtasthanya Janana condition, and in Grahajanya Vyadhi, like Shaguni Graha, some symptoms are present in like grahabada conditions, and ashuji janya conditions like ahipudana, and in charmadala conditions, and dandotpava rogas, like again charmadala is mentioned, and jandugandida, like in kashyapa samhita vedanatya it is mentioned jandugandida. Like we can consider these all hedus in while describing the clinical conditions in Kshiraba and Kshiranada. Coming to Annada, the main hedus are because of the improper dietetics, viruddha ahara vihara, or not following proper weaning methods. So it will lead to rakta dushti, and again it will cause for the skin clinical conditions, and because of krimi and grahavyadi, and again also due to any external flea bite or any Jandugadida. These all cause for the main Tvakvigaras in children. These are the main hedu. So understanding of hedu is also important for the diagnosis of a clinical condition. And we should consider some important points while discussing the diagnosis of skin diseases in children, because based on the age group, if we are taking the age group, the skin diseases is different in each age group: in period of newborn, in period of infant, in younger children, up to school going children, and in older children. There will be different skin diseases or same skin diseases which is having a different pattern of distribution. We can see in based on the age group. Like melia conditions, this will be normal physiology in newborn condition, melia conditions. So in Yavana Pedaga, that will be mainly occur in Yavana Avastha. It will not occur in younger age group. And hand, foot, mouth diseases, it is mainly in school going children. So based on age group also, some skin conditions are there, that also we should keep in mind. And we should take a proper history. So the family history is important. Family history is important while discussing the diagnosis of children. In family history, like whether any running history is present in family, or whether the child is in hostel or in boarding, whether the ringworm, like worm infestation, are commonly present in family history, or where the child is staying. Based on that, we should take the history, and whether any positive hereditary history is there, like atopic history, say is having a positive hereditary history, and we should analyze the chronicity of the disease. Like in atopic dermatitis, it will be a chronic disease. There will be years of origin will be there in some conditions. So in each condition we should analyze the how much severe is the disease, or what is the whether it is acute condition or whether it is a chronic condition, we should analyze. Then we should analyze the whether it is a disease or it is only a sign of a disease. That also we should analyze from the presenting symptoms, like in atopic dermatitis or hand foot mouth diseases, the presenting symptom itself is the disease. But in case of chicken pox and all, the presenting symptoms is indicating the underlying disease. So like that we should analyze the disease condition. And next will come the body parts, the parts which is affected, which body part is affected. Like in specific conditions, only specific body parts will be affected. That is also helps to diagnose the skin conditions. Like in atopic dermatitis, specific areas will be there. In seborrheic dermatitis, in scabies, in jandugada, in drooling saliva, in impetigo conditions. In like that conditions, there will be some areas will be more prone to disease specific, like in skin conditions. And also we should analyze the diet or nutritional status of the child. Like mainly in children, like mainly in developing countries, there will be malnourishment is more prone, more more prone to malnourished children are more prone to skin diseases. So vitamin deficiency, any mineral deficiency is there or not. So that is also we should keep in mind. And gut health also we should keep in mind while diagnosing the diseases. And there is some skin disorders are the specifically discussing in Kaumara Britya, like Charmadala, Visarpa, Visporda, Shidapitta, Koda, Udarda, Kushta, Shvitra, Shidala, Dadru, Dusahagraha, Arakilaga, allergic diseases of child, Shadavrana, Pidaga, Ajagalika, Parivartika, Niruta Prakasha, Vrishnakachu, Kachu, Mukhadushiga, Rajiga, Paridakta Chavi. These are specifically mentioned to child age group. So we should keep in mind these all are conditions of how to diagnose these all conditions. What all are the presentation in these conditions? Mainly Kashyapa Samhita is describing majority of the skin conditions specific to children. So if while analyzing these conditions, if we are not getting the correct morphology, we should keep in mind the how much dosha, what all are doshas are involved in these conditions, and how this form a pathology or samprapti, how the samprapti is formed in this condition. And based on that, we can conclude the diagnosis of the skin condition that help for the treatment. So coming to the skin diseases in children, mainly the Charmadala. The Charmadala will first the Charmadala is very important because this incidence this is specially mentioned in children, and up to 3 years. Up to 3 years, any conditions like skin manifestation, like the scaling of skin conditions, we can consider as Charmadala based on the presentation. So mainly Charmadala will be Vada dominant, and it is considered as the Avadharana of Charma. It is mainly Vayu Bhuyishta and Vayu Atmakameva and Charma Avadharana. That is the main symptoms will be the splitting of skin will be present. It is detailedly explained by Kashyapa Samhita in Khilastana, and all other acharyas are just mentioning above Charmadala. So it is very important, and we can diagnose the incident. We can diagnose these conditions by its specific manifestation by understanding the Charmadala incidence is common in Kshiraba, Kshirabhavastha, and due to Stanya Dushti, and in Shira Annada, in Sugumara, in Astira Dadu, in Mridu Sharira, in Vastranga Dharana, Ushna Anila Adaba, because of Adisveda, and because of Adi Ubanaha, Ashuji, Adi Udvartana, and because of Kula Pravarta, like like a familial tendency. So mainly Charmadala is happened in Chiraba and Chira Annada. Like up to 3 years only, we can diagnose these conditions in children. And this Madhu Ahara Vihara also having an important role in Charmadala. So the involvement of Madhura Ahara Vihara, the involvement of mother's dosha dushya vigalpa also keep in mind while dealing with the Charmadala. And Sukumara, the very child will be very delicate and with soft skin. So in Sugumara also, Sugumara children are also very vulnerable to Charmadala. And because of malnourishment and or because of pure hygiene, like Ushna exposure to Ushna Aniladaba, because of excess sweating, and because of Adi Ubanaha not following proper hygiene, Adi Udvartana, and any familial background, all these cause for the development of Charmadala in children. And up to 3 years only we can diagnose this Charmadala conditions in children, because as the age progresses after Annadavastha, the body tissues attain a stability or hardness. It becomes Stiratva and Kadinatva. And the immunity of the skin level in children also develops. So the children will become more tolerable to external allergic stimulus. So the incidence of disease gradually decreases with age in case of Charmadala. So the Charmadala is mainly 4 types are there. So based on the presentation, we should understand the dosha involvement. In case of Vadaja, as we all know that there will be more pain will be there and blackish appearance will be there. And along with that, not only the skin manifestation, GAT symptoms also present in Vadaja Charmadala, like acute onset of Adisara, and other conditions like Mukha Shosha, Roma Harsha, Akshebaga also will be present in Vadika Charmadala. In case of Paitiga, there will be more Rekta Neela Avapasada, Ushnatva, there will be Paga will be there, and it will be spread like a burned lotus, and there is very Q concept will be there, and also Gudapaga will be there, and also associated with Daha, Mukhashoda, and Chardi. In Vadaja, Adisara will be there. In the Pittaja, Chardi will be there. In Kafaja condition, Kafaja Charmadala, it is associated with the Shida, Stimida, Snikta, Sandra Mandala. There will be pain, will be the severity of pain will be less compared to other doshas. And the appearance will be rounded tubercle like which undergoes Paga. And it is late onset. And Kandu, Toda will be there. And other symptoms include Shleshma Harsha, Pradishyaya, Tantra, Shveda, Talu, Oshta. Like Kafaja symptoms can be manifested in Kafaja Charmadala. In Sannipadaja Charmadala, it is Asadhya. So it Krishna Rakta Mandala, Shiprabhaga, and Dakta Guda Pragasha. And child will not take feeding properly. These all symptoms will be manifested in Sannipadaja type of Charmadala. And there are some body sites are explained in Kashyapa Samhita for Charmadala. They are Mukha, Gala, Hasta, Pada, Vrishanadara, Kadhi, Uru, Anga Sandishu. So there are common body sites where Charmadala occurs. These areas are more prone for Charmadala, like face, Mukha, neck, Hasta, Pada, like upper and lower extremities, and the scrotal area and back, and uru or chest, then joints and folds. These all areas are more prone for Charmadala. These are specifically mentioned by Kashyapa Samhita. And for the diagnosis purpose, Acharya also giving a aqueous test for vitiated breast milk in disease of Charmadala. If a Vadaja Dushti is present, if we put the stanya in water, it will spread like an umbrella shape. And if pitta is there, then it will if we put in pittaja dushta stanya in water, it become harida rekta siddha, and it will be sparsha, it will be hot in nature. If it is associated with the kapha dushti, then it will settle down in the bottom. This also helps for the quick diagnosis of the stanya dushti. And the next condition is like a vispoda, like Agni Datta Nibha Spoda Sajwara Pitta Raktada Kwajit Sarvatra Va Dehe Smrita Vispodaga Idi. It is considered as a Shudra Roga, and there are several types of vispodas are there. It will be like a burned skin condition. Mainly Pitta Rakta involvement will be there, as we can see from the skin conditions. So for diagnostic purpose, if Vadika Vispoda is there, then will be Shiroruja, Parva Bheda, Krishna Vartana will be there. These all symptoms we should analyze from the symptoms exhibited by the children. If pitta involvement is there, there will be fever will be there, daha, the color will be pida lohida, and paga will be there. If kapha is involved, then there will be chardi, arojaga, kandu, pandu, asveda will be there. If tivra vedana is there, then vada pitta involvement will be there. And if kandu, stimida, gurutva is there, then vada kapha involvement will be there. If kandu, daha, chardi is there, then like pitta kapha involvement will be there. And sannivada, if all the doshas are involved, then there will be Madhyanimna, Andonada, Alpa Prabhaga, Pralaba. If Rekta is involved, then there will be specific manifestation like Gunja. Like Gunja, the Vispodas will present. Then Ajagaliga. Ajagaliga is like a Snikta Savarna Khredida Niruja Mukha Sannipa. Mainly Kapha Vada dosha involvement is present in Ajagaliga. And in Bala Visarpa, this is also a very big topic. It's different varieties are explained by Acharya. So commonly there will be Rekta Mandalaga Utpattis, Trishna, Daha, Jwara, Aradi, Swadu Shidoba Shwaitam, Visarpasya, Agravedana. Severe pain will be there in conditions of Bala Visarpa. There are more than 51 types of Bala Visarpa explained in Arogya Kalpadruma. Each morphology is different. So we should analyze the involvement of dosha, which all doshas and dushas are involved in the clinical condition. That will help for the proper that will help for a easy understanding of the clinical diagnosis of the condition. So mainly Visarpa we can correlate as a modern view like herpes infections. The direct mucocutaneous in the mode of spread will be direct mucocutaneous junction or through body fluids. So we should understand the pathophysiology that will help for the proper diagnosis. So different types of herpes infections are there. From there, we should understand the herpetic the commonest manifestation of primary herpetic infection is the acute gingival stomatitis. There will be erosions, ulcers in the mouth with a white base associated with a fever, lymphadenopathy, and malaise. Like this condition will be there. Oral herpes simplex. This will be the, in case of herpes infection, the primary infection will be oral herpes simplex viral infection. There are different types of herpes infections are there related with encephalitis, meningitis. In each condition, the lesions will be different. In this condition, there is a laboratory diagnosis for direct detection, that is through electron microscopy of the vesical fluid or through immunofluorescence and by PCR and through viral culture and sensitivity. And there is also specific serological test for HSV infection. And another condition is like Rajiga. That is in only Ashtanga Sangraha it is mentioned. That is Gharma Sveda Paride, Ange Pidaga, Sarujo Khanaha, Rajiga Varna Samsthana Pramana, Rajiga Hvayaha. Like Rajiga, it is similar to the Rajiga. It will like a pricky heat in summer. Mainly it will happen in summer season. So we should analyze what all doshas are involved in this condition, and based on that we should go for the diagnosis and later the treatment of the condition. And Mahapadma is another term which is coined for Shishu Visarpa. And there is a conditions in Madhava Nidana, that is Shitala conditions. Like here, there will be rashes and fever. Fever along with the rashes like conditions will be there. This is common in our clinical practices. So there will be a Masurika like lesions are present on the external parts of the body. So we can consider or compare or relate it with the epidemic nature of conditions like chickenpox, measles, mumps, etc. So another clinical condition is the Graha Bada. So mainly we are telling Revati Graha and Shaguni Graha having some skin manifestations in children. Like in Revati Graha, there will be discoloration of the child malaria condition or vitamin A deficiency. There will be discoloration. Shava Nilata we can manifest. In Shaguni Graha, or we can consider it as impetigo like conditions, there will be Jvara, there will be Vispora along with the Harupaga and Jihva Talu Gale Vrana and Gudapaga, Vaktrapaga, and there will be order of Shaguni or bird smell will be there. Like these are all conditions helps to diagnose it as a Shaguni Graha, or we can relate it to it as a impetigo. There will be spoda like conditions will be there. And another graha which is having clinical manifestation is explained by Kashyapa. It is considered as a Upagraha also, Dussaha Graha, because the Hedus are describing by Acharya like due to daily intake of Grida, milk, and also the Shleshma Prakriti of child, and the child is habituated to more eating and more sleeping pattern. There will be Mamsa, Meda, and Rakta Dushti, and there will be vesicular rashes will happen. So this can be, we can correlate it as a herpes virus type infection or any viral condition, or there will be more eosinophil high load will be there. And another skin manifestation is the Arakilaga. It is explained by Kashyapa Gilastana, that is increased Medas deposition in the localized area. And there is a 3 types of presentation for Arakilaga. And that is a cone type projections or definite projected area over the skin surface will be there. This we can correlate with the nutritional deficiency or any subcutaneous swellings or viral warts. There will be extra growth, extra deposition of methods like projections over the skin surface can be considered as a Arakilaga. And Pidagas. Pidagas, coming to Pidagas, Kashyapa Acharya described 8 types of Pidagas specific to children. In that, Arumshiga only 7 types of like Sharaviga, Kachapiga, Jalini, Sarshapiga, Alaji, Vidrati, Vinada. All these Pidagas are same as like that of Prameha Pidaga. But one extra Pidaga is that is involvement of Sannipada, Tridosha Dushti, that is Arumshiga, like their wet papules on the scalp, and this scalp lesions with the multiple opening will be there, and it is resembling the size and the shape and color of a mustard seed, and the lesion resembling the size and shape of the Jyotishmati seeds also. So Arumshiga is specific to children mainly. And there is a Vrishana Kachu condition as explained by Susruta Samhita. That is because of lack of hygiene. There will be Kandu Spoda Srava conditions will be more in groin region, Vrishana region. So here we should understand the involvement of dosha, that is mainly Kapha and Rakta. Based on this, we can do dosha dosha vikalpa involvement in this condition, and we can go for the treatment. And next condition is like a Mukhadoshiga or Yavana Pedaga. This is specifically seen in Yavana Avastha. And here the dosha involvement is Kapha, Vata, and Dusha is Rekta. So, and it is resembles like Shalmali Kanda and occurs in Yavana Avastha. So this kind of Yavana Pedaga or Mukhadoshiga like clinical condition will occur is particular in this age group. Another condition is like a Paridakta Chavi. It is explained in Ashtanga Sangraha. There is no, only it is considered as like a burn injury in children. Like there is only skin may be erythematous with or without blisters, as seen in the case of burns and scalds. Like this condition, we can diagnose it as a paridakta chavi, like burn injuries, like that of a burn injury. There will be more pitta dosha vitiation in these conditions. In case of Niruddha Prakasha, there will be Vada dominance will be there. And there is also obstruction to the flow of the urine. And there is also pain. It is accompanied by pain. So mainly Vada predominant. And some Kushta's cases mainly seen in children conditions. We can diagnose it as like Ega Kushta, Kidiba, Vaibhadika, Pama, Dadru, Vijarchika, Sitma. These all conditions of Kushta are mainly present in children. Like Asveda in Ega Kushta, Asvedana, Mahavastu, Malsa Shagalopama, scaling will be present, and there will be the sweating will be present, will be absent, and the spreading will be a generalized area. And in case of Kidiba Kushta, there will be Kinakara Sparsha will be there, and the severity, the chronicity will be more. In Vaibhadika Kushta, that is involvement of Pani Pada Spudana, and Mamsa Dhatu is involved here, and there will be Tivra Vedana will be there, and more itching will be there, and redness or congestion will be more in Vaibhadika Kushta. And in some cases, it can be correlated with the Palmar plantar psoriasis condition. And Palmar Kushta, it is whitish discoloration of the lesion, and there will be different discoloration will be can like whitish or reddish or bluish, and itching over the lesions also will be present. Also pain will be there, and minute papular eruptions are present, especially in the buttocks, hands, and elbow. These are specific to the these are mainly especially in areas of buttocks, hands, and elbow. Like these are Vaibhadika Kushta, Pani Pada Sputana we can see, and in Pama Kushta there is discoloration we can see, and the area of the distribution also we can see. And this is a Vaibhadika kind of Kushta, and it is diagnosed as a palmoplantar psoriasis because of skin biopsy. In skin biopsy, there is a presence of parakeratosis, and there is a loss of granular layer of epidermis, and also psoriatic form of presentation also present. And Dadru Kushta is mainly associated with itching sensation, and there will be reddish nodules we can see, and papule eruptions will be there, and elevator ring-shaped plaque. The lesions will be like elevator ring-shaped plaque, and it is Dirgha Pradhana, and it is resembling like the flower of Adasi. In case of Vijarchika Kushta, it is Shyama, Lohida, Vrana, Vedana, Srava, Pagavadi, Vijarchika. There will be black and red ulcers with pain and discharge and separation. Here the discharge will be the main symptoms as described by the skin condition. In case of Sitma Kushta, it is mainly resembling the flowers of God, and there will be dry skin lesions, and the lesions will be mainly in reddish in color, and it is like a broken, shattered appearance of overlying skin, and thin appearing skin will be outside and anxious inside. The snigdha, inside of the lesion there will be snigdhada, and ruchada will be outside, and there will be alpa vedana, alpa kandu, alpa daha, and alpa discharge, and less worms, and scaling will be present. And mainly this kind of lesions will affect the urdhvagaya. And these type of skin conditions are also common in children. So another for diagnosis purpose, the classification of skin diseases during childhood based on the neonatal dermatosis and the common congenital malformation of the skin based on the birthmarks, based on the infections, based on the infestations of genodermatosis based on the neurocutaneous disorders and nutritional deficiencies and other manifestation of systemic diseases and miscellaneous conditions also helps to understand the diagnosis of the skin diseases in children. In neonatal dermatosis condition, like erythema toximum neonatorum, it is a benign self-limiting eruption characterized by the erythematous macules and plaques. It will be like 2 to 3 centimeter in size with a tiny 1 to 3 mm central vesicle or pustule will be there. This will be mainly it is seen in during the first week of life, rarely at the birth. The site is important is mostly on the trunk and proximal extremities will be there. Other systemic symptoms will be absent and it is spontaneously disappear in 3 to 7 days. It is a normal conditions. And there is a miliaria rubra, that is a prickly heat. As in summer seasons, we can find these conditions. Like mainly flexural areas, it will be present. And there is acropustulus of infancy. Mainly it is pruritic lesions will be there. Mainly present over the palm and soles. That is the dorsal aspect of hands, feet, wrist, ankles, face, and scalp. There is a melia condition. This is a normal condition. Pearly white papules will be there in infants. Usually it will disappear spontaneously during the first 3 to 4 weeks. And other is a cutis marmorata. It is also reticulate bluish mottling of the skin on trunk and extremity due to severe cold. When the newborn is exposed to more cold environment, then this cutis marmorata will form and it will disappear as the infant is rewarmed. And neonatal acne conditions, like child presents with multiple discrete inflammatory papules, pustules, and closed comedones. It will mostly it will appear at 2 to 4 weeks of age as papules and then evolve into pustules, rarely present at birth, mainly over cheek, forehead, chest, and back. This neonatal acne is mainly formed due to poor hygiene or any breast milk vitiation. Because of that, or because of the Dushtasthanya Pana, because of all this hedus, mostly neonatal acne will be there. Otherwise, if it is produced, only the lesions is present without any other secondary infections like any fever or any pustules. If these are not there, means it will revolve by itself. Otherwise, we should go for further treatment. Transient neonatal pustular melanosis. This is a kind of inflammatory vesicle pustule that are extremely fragile, last for 24 to 48 hours. It is commonly present at birth. Mainly, these are predominantly it is seen as a clusters, mainly under the chin, forehead, axilla, and nape of the neck. The lesions will disappear spontaneously by day 5. There is no treatment is actually required. So mainly the joint sides, mainly the folds of the skin, these lesions will appear. If there is increased temperature, or the child is not taking feeding properly, and if the child is not active properly and crying, irritant cry is present, in those conditions we should go for further treatment. Otherwise, this will disappear spontaneously by itself. And other condition is like a cradle cap, that is infantile seborrheic dermatitis. This is also a normal conditions in infant child, and if it is present beyond the infant period, then it will be a pathological condition. Mainly it is characterized by erythematous scaly or crested eruption over the area rich in sebaceous gland. The etiology will be genetic or immunodysfunction or due to atmospheric humidity. This cradle cap will form. Mainly the scalp, face, post-auricular, pre-sternal and intertriginous areas, there will be infantile seborrheic dermatitis we can see. And other condition is like a diaper dermatitis or nappy rash or napkin dermatitis. It is an acute inflammatory reaction of the skin associated with the wearing of napkin. It is very common in clinical practice, as in Ayurveda we can correlate it as a ahipudana, mainly kapha rakta involvement will be there. So it is due to irritant contact dermatitis, due to occlusive contact of urine and feces with skin, improper hygiene, and without after passing stool and urine, cleaning is not doing properly, and continuous wearing of the same cloth. All these conditions will lead to this diaper dermatitis. And rash is usually bounded by the margins of the nappy with a sparing of the inguinal fold. And after prolonged contact, there will be papulo-erosive eruption occurs. There will be erosion kind of lesions will develop with the formation of multiple small ulcers called Jacquet's ulcers. And secondary infection by Candida is common. So if we are not treating the condition properly, it will worsen the condition. After, by developing the condition, in the primary stage only we start, we should diagnose the condition. This is also like intertrigo, like superficial inflammatory dermatitis of upper skin surface. It is due to the heat, moisture, friction, and sweat retention, induced maceration and inflammation. And secondarily, it may affected by bacteria or fungal. And next condition is like a birthmarks, like salmon patch. This we can see in infant period. This is like a vascular lesion, and it is appears as irregular, dull, pinkish or red macular area, often with the fine linear telangiectasia. It is mainly seen in the nape of the neck. And it is these lesions will fade rapidly and disappear within a year. It is like a birthmark. And there is a port wine stain. It is a patch. So it represents a vascular malformation involving the mature capillaries, and this birthmark persistent throughout life. So we should diagnose it properly and go for further treatment. Cutaneous marmorator, we already told, because of the exposure to more cold, the infant skin become reticulated, mottling of the skin will present and does not disappear after rewarming. And more prone areas or limbs are more commonly affected than other sites. So we will tell during infant period, we will cover the infant properly, and we should advise the parents the importance of protecting the skin of the child. Strawberry mark or capillary hemangioma. These are like arise from the immature angioblastic tissue. Main sites are head, neck, and then it will followed by trunk. It will not present at birth. It develops during the first weeks of life. And over 90% of these lesions will disappear by age of 7 years. If treatment is required, then go for the further treatment. Mongolian spots, this is also a normal condition. Mongolian spots are flat, slate, gray to blue, black, or single or multiple large macular lesions of various sizes. Mainly, it will be located on the lumbosacral area, and it also will fade after first 2 years of life. You already taught cafeolite spots, like macular like lesions. Hemolytic navy. And main infections in infancy and childhood period is herpes simplex infection. That is, it is a on-skin informed group vesicles on erythematous base. This will be the presentation. So in mucous membrane, blister-based erosion will be there. It is seen due to easy shedding of the blister roof. The main sites will be oral cavity, lips, nose, cheeks, fingers, eyes, and scalp. And neonatal herpes simplex also there. And chicken pox, it is caused due to the varicella zoster virus, and the eruption is mainly like a teardrop appearance, and there will be crops of papules appear which become vesicular and later pustular and encrusted. Then mucous membrane of mouth and throat also involved. And measles like epidemic infections. There will be a specific skin manifestation like erythematous maculopapular rash start from the 2 to 4 days after fever behind the ears and spreads over the face and trunk and the lip. Then the Koplik spots are the diagnostic and visible before onset of rash as tiny white spots. These are the specific skin manifestation in measles condition. And erythema infectiosum, like fifth, it is also called as fifth disease. Like it will be having a slap cheek appearance. That is the rash on the extremities and trunk also present with the central fading of the eruption giving a reticular appearance. This rash also fades within a week. This diagnosis is confirmed based on the IgM level. There is, and because of human herpes virus 6, there is a condition called roseola. And there is another condition is hand, foot, mouth disease, mainly caused due to the Kawasaki A16 virus. This is common in our clinical practice. Mainly the distribution will be in palms, fingertips, interdigital extremities. Compared to the trunk, the distribution will be over the extremities. Mainly in school going children, it is present. So we should advise proper hygiene for this condition. And another important condition is the impetigo. This will be like a superficial contagious bacterial infection with a brownish or yellow crest caused by Staphylococcus virus. And age limit in this impetigo condition will be 4 to 7 years. Common site will be face around the nose, mouth, and hand. Superficial blister rupture easily, releasing a yellow exudate that dries and form a honey-colored crust. In impetigo condition, there are two types are there. One is non-bullous type and other is bullous type. So the crust formation or honey crust formation, this like in this picture, like this condition will be in non-bullous type of impetigo we can see. And in bullous type, there only bullous and ruptured bullous like lesions will be there. There will not be crust formation. So mainly in 2 to 5 years of age, in range of this age, impetigo we can see, and mainly the involvement of all the dosha, involvement of all three dosha we can see in these conditions. Fruncles or boils, like painful circumcised perifollicular staphylococcus abscess, mainly over the face, back of neck, scalp, axilla, thigh. These are the main site of these conditions. And carbuncle, like a large, deep-seated staphylococcal abscess composed of aggravation of interconnected furuncles that drain at multiple points on the skin. And this condition, the deeper layer of the skin also will be affected. So it will be more painful. And mainly it is affecting in the back of neck, shoulder, hip, and thigh. And the erysipelas conditions, there will be superficial infection of the skin. It is mostly affecting in the older children. And there will be skin involving upper subcutaneous tissue and lymphatic vessels. And mainly site will be face and limb in children. And in infants, there will be abdominal wall will be affected. And another condition is the tinea capitis. Usually, the usual lesion will be resembled to partial alopecia. It will be circular in shape and with stumps of broken hair of different length will be there. Scaling and inflammation of the scalp are variable. So the tinea capitis diagnosis by skin crapping and KOH examination, and also culture also helps for identifying the species of dermatophytes. And another main symptom, another main condition in children, it is the oral candidiasis or oral thrush, that is characterized by a curdy or whitish gray, friable, cheesy, pseudo membranous patches or flakes on markedly redundant mucosa. We can see in children, we can see this condition commonly. It is like caused by yeast-like fungi of genus Candida, mainly due to Candida albicans. This is a painful inflammation of the tongue, soft and hard palate, buccal and gingival mucosa can extend to esophagus or pharynx. Mainly the buccal cavity will be involved. The factor predisposing to candidiasis will include other systemic diseases like diabetes mellitus, hypoparathyroidism, Addison's disease, leukemia, or prolonged antibiotic or corticosteroid therapy. So if we are getting any oral thrush condition, we should analyze this underlying pathologies also. This also helps for the diagnosis of the condition, whether any other systemic diseases is involved or not. And another condition is like the scabies. So in scabies, mainly the site will be wrist, the border of the hand, sides of the fingers, and finger web spice. In infants and children, that area of distribution will be slightly different. In infants, mainly in palm, soles, and genitalia are involved. In case of children, head and neck may be involved. Itching will worst at night when patient is warm. So mainly the scabies is due to the mite bite, like Sarcopitis scabies, like mite will cause the scabies infection. And the main symptoms will be the itching. Severe pruritus will be present in scabies. It will affecting mainly in children and in young adult. And there we can see the erythematous nodules, skin mainly in the skin fold, and there will be a serpiginous line of infection we can see along where the mite is burrowing the line. Mainly the scabies is due to the lack of hygiene, malnourishment, or overcrowding, or because of more contaminated conditions. These all provide the skin conditions like scabies, and mainly kapha pitta involvement. We can see the kapha pitta involvement in these conditions. And this is a case of pediculosis capitis. This is mainly confined to the occipital region. And because of overcrowding, poor hygiene, low socioeconomic status are the associated factors. Here also the main symptoms will be itching. And there is also oozing, crusting, eczema, lack of conditions also present if the condition will become severe. Another condition we should also consider the nutritional status of the child. Like in case of kwashiorkor, there will be a characteristic change in the striking cutaneous and hair changes in association with the developmental, mental, and gastrointestinal features. Cutaneous erythema will come first in this condition, and this will progress to fine desquamation along with the natural skin lines on the shin, outer thigh, and back. And pallor will be there, cutaneous depigmentation will be there, purple patches are also present in this condition. And phrenoderma we can see in the deficiency of vitamin A. Like in developing countries, these are common in common clinical conditions. Mainly this will be characterized by discrete, firm, horny, follicular, keratotic papules over various size. Mainly in the extensor surface of the extremities is happen, like elbows, knees, thighs, there will be there. These lesions will be present. And also associated with the bitter spot, xerophthalmia, and keratomalacia. So while considering the clinical conditions in children, vitamin deficiency or malnourishment condition is also an important factor to. And there is a acrodermatitis enteropathica, like it is characterized by acral and periorificial vestibulobullous pustula and eczematocyte skin lesions. Here, the blisters quickly collapse and begin to dry and crust. The crust formation will happen in this condition. And there is a secondary infection by Candida is also present. Here, we can see a triad of dermatitis, diarrhea, and alopecia. Mainly, this condition is related to zinc deficiency. So in case of acrodermatitis enteropathica, or we can diagnose there is a decrease in zinc level in plasma. Another some miscellaneous conditions we can see in children, like papular urticaria, like chronic recurrent eruption of irritable urticarial papules occur in patients with acquired sensitivity to insect bites. The primary lesions are wheals or papules. Wheals are surmounted by papules, often with a central hemorrhagic punctum. This is common in children because of any insect bite, mainly in 2 to 7 years of age. Mainly, this insect bite is happened in the export parts of the body. Perioral eczema also common in children, like leak eczema, like around the mouth. There will be eczematous lesions we can see. Perioral eczema is attributed to habit of, if the child is having habit of lip licking, lip biting, thumb sucking, or dribbling, then there will be perioral eczematic lesions will be there. And atopic dermatitis, this is an important skin manifestation in children. It is a kind of eczema characterized by intense itching and a relapsing course in infants and children. And 70% of children having a positive family history of atopic dermatitis. Mainly the site of atopic dermatitis will be antecubital and popliteal fossa most commonly involved. And atopic dermatitis, based on the age, the dermatological distribution will change. Mainly in infants, forehead, cheeks, elbow, knee will be involved. And coming to the older children, the eyes, neck, wrist, groin area, ankles, these all areas will be involved. And rubbing and scratching will aggravate the eczema. As in children, these symptoms will aggravate more. Itching will be present. As the child grows, the affected skin becomes thickened with the accentuation of normal skin creases known as lichenification. So presence of lichenification in atopic dermatitis will point out the severity of the disease, and usually it have a dry flaky skin, and this dryness tend to exacerbate the itching. So in condition of atopic dermatitis, there is acute and chronic conditions will be there. In acute conditions, we can see the fresh vesicles over the presented sites. In chronic conditions, lichenification will be there, and the disruption of the skin barriers or layers we can see. And the acute dermatitis, this atopic dermatitis and seborrheic dermatitis, both are equally present in children, but we can differentiate both them by there will be intense itching is present in atopic dermatitis, and this seborrheic dermatitis, that much intensive itching will not be present. And there is also diagnostic criteria for atopic dermatitis. That is, essential features must be present. There will be pruritus, eczema, and the important features seen in most cases adding to the support to the diagnosis is early age of onset and atopy, and the presence of a dry skin. If these are present, then we can diagnose it as a atopic dermatitis. Then associated features suggest the diagnosis, but are too non-specific to be used for defining or detecting eczema for research studies, like atypical vascular responses, keratosis, ocular changes, other regional changes, perifollicular accentuation or lichenification. These all the associated features also will be present in atopic dermatitis. So these are all are indicating the severity of the condition. Major criteria and minor criteria are there. The major criteria include pruritus and the dermatitis affecting the flexural surfaces in adults, or face and extensor surfaces in infants. Then chronic dermatitis will be there, and there is always a positive family history will be there. Any cutaneous or respiratory or any allergic conditions of positive family history will be there in major criteria. In minor criteria, facial features, if we consider facial features, facial pallor, erythema, hypopigmented patches, infraorbital darkening, cheilitis, infraorbital folds, recurrent conjunctivitis, or any anterior neck folds will be present. Then triggers will be there, like emotional factor, environmental factor, food, any skin irritants. And coming to the complications, there will be immunity depressed conditions will be there, and other factors we can include early age of onset, whether it is chronic condition or whether dry skin is present, whether ichthyosis or hyperlinear palms are present, keratosis is present or not. And like this condition, if any other associated condition is there, that is also we can consider as a minor criteria. So main condition for main diagnosis, there will be pruritus, dermatitis over the flexural surface, and face and extensor surface in infants. There will be chronic condition, and there is also always a positive history. There is a Tiriasis alba. It is a dry, slightly scaly, often hypopigmented area. Predominantly, it will be present over the face and upper trunk. Mainly in 3 to 16 years of age, it will be present. Tiriasis rosea, it is characterized by single oval-shaped lesions. It is also known as herald patch, with a peripheral collarette of scale will be there, mainly over the trunk, and it will spread to the upper arm and thigh. These all are the main skin conditions we discussed. And for the diagnosis purpose, some tests we have to perform for during the clinical examination. That is one Kopner phenomenon, and for dermographism and Candle sign, Auspitz sign. This all helps to diagnose the clinical conditions. And other diagnostic tools like potassium hydroxide preparation. But this potassium hydroxide preparation helps to identify whether any fungal elements are present in the affected skin, hair, or nail. And fungal culture, if he is taking the sampling of the skin or the affected area, whether it's from skin or sampling the scalp, then transfer the collected material to a fungal medium and process it. If any presence of pathogenic fungus will be there, then the collected material change from yellow to red in 1 to 2 weeks. In scabies condition, mineral oil preparation also help for the diagnosis. We can examine the low power, and we can examine whether any mites, eggs, or fecal matter are present or not. Like this, we can see. And proper examination of skin under wood light examination. And taking smear for further cytological examination, patch test, photo patch test, intradermal test, serological test, blood test, all these helps for the diagnosis of the conditions. So in Ayurveda perspective, for the diagnosis of skin condition, it is important for the treatment of the diagnosis, it is important to treat the disease on its own way. If you are going for the diagnosis based on the morphology, it is very difficult by considering the morphology. But for clinical understanding and practical utility, it is important to diagnose based on the dosha involvement. So first examine for dosha, which dosha is involved, and examine for dhatu, which dhatu is involved in this condition, like tvak, lasika, asrik, amisha, and examine for the presence of ama, whether the ama is present or not, and examine for the nature of pitta. All this and initially in any skin condition, initially there will be pitta dosha vitiation will be there, and it will combines with the dushita kleda. And then when these two vitiated factors affect at Rasadhatu and Raktadhatu, then the condition gets manifested as a skin disease. It is a basic level of understanding. Then based on this level, if any other symptoms are present or not, any other dosha dusha vikalpa are present or not, considering the other condition, we can go for the diagnosis. So if examining dosha, in general perspective, if vada is involved, then there will be more pain will be there, and the pricking type pain will be more, and oozing will not be present, and skin will be like crusty, exfoliated, cracks will be there, and fever will not be present, and the onset of skin manifestation will be depends on the associated dosha, and swelling also will not be present. If like this presentation will be there, then we can analyze it as the presence of Vadiga dosha. If Pitta is involved, then there will be intense pain will be there, and also presence of bloody discharge, pus discharge will be there. Then the discoloration will be in red color, black color, or hyperkeratinosis will be there. And then fever is present. Then the onset will be sudden. Ashugari avastha will be there. Then the swelling is present along with pain. If these all condition will be there, then we can consider there is an involvement of pitta dosha in this. If kapha is involved, then there will be mandaruk, and the oozing will be watery pus, decpigmented, fungal growth present, and feverness will be present. There will be slow onset and progress will be there, and edema will be present. Then we can understand the kapha involvement will be there. Along with the dosha involvement, the specific dosha manifestation, if any associated Vadiga symptoms along with any arthritis condition or malnourished condition, and Roma Harsha will be there. In Pitta involvement, there is always an association with the Adhisara or any kind of bleeding disorders will be there, and lymph node enlargement. All this condition will be there. If kapha involvement is present, there will be more respiratory diseases and respiratory diseases, and regional lymph node lymphadenopathy will be there, and pruritus will be more. Based on the dosha dusha vikalpa, we can go for the diagnosis of the skin diseases. So it is the ability to identify and correctly evaluate the changes on the part of the skin and visible mucous membrane is of great importance in the diagnosis of the diseases and disorders of various organs and systems.